Today we will start how to analyze the proper cantilever beam by consistent deformation method. You know what is proper cantilever? If the one end of the beam is fixed and the other end is simply supported, then the beam is called the proper cantilever beam. This end is fixed and this end is supported. So this type of beam is called the proper cantilever beam. Proper cantilever beam is a statically indeterminate structure or statically indeterminate beam. The degree of static indeterminacy is equal to 1. You see that how to find out the degree of static indeterminacy. Total reaction are the fixed and 3, and here the reaction is your 1, 4. So R minus 3, the degree of static indeterminacy is equal to R minus 3. That is 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. So the degree of static indeterminacy of this proper cantilever is equal to 1. Then how we will analyze this proper cantilever using the consistent deformation method. So in this analysis, you have to find out what is the reaction or the support. You have to find out what is the reaction here using the consistent deformation method. You have to know what is redundant force. Redundant force is the force that we remove to get the determinate primary structure. So after removing the redundant force, we will get the determinate or release structure. Suppose if we will remove this one, if we will take this as a redundant force, then after removing this force, we will get the determinate structure. Means we will get the cantilever beam. So that redundant force, you have to choose such a manner that after removing that force, you will get the determinate structure. So what is the consistent deformation method? The consistent deformation method is used to calculate reactions and internal forces in statically indeterminate structure due to loads and imposed deformations. So using this method, you will find out what is the reaction or internal forces in statically indeterminate structure due to loads and due to the imposed deformation. You will find out what is the reaction. In this method, the redundant forces are identified first by removing restraint in the direction of redundant force. Then the release structure or determinate structure is obtained. So you have to choose the redundant force. Here, if you are choosing this is the redundant force, then after removing the restraint against the vertical deflection, by removing the restraint in the direction of the redundant force, in the direction of the redundant force, so you will get the release structure or determinate structure. In the determinate structure, the displacements are obtained in the direction of the redundant force. So after removing this one, if you are choosing this one as a redundant force, after removing this one, you will get the determinate structure. Then you can find out what is the deflection, vertical deflection here, the vertical deflection or the displacement. In that determinate structure, the displacements are obtained in that direction of the redundant forces. Then the displacement due to each redundant forces are obtained and the conditions of displacement compatibility are imposed to get the additional equation. Because you see, in the case of proper cantilever, the degree of static indeterminacy is equal to 1. You need one more additional equation to solve this problem. So that equation, that additional equation, will find out from the compatibility conditions. Conditions of displacement compatibility. You will find out this additional equation. Then using this equation, you will find out what is the reaction or the prop end. That is the redundant force. Solution for this equation give the value of the redundant forces. The solution of this equation will give the redundant force, value of redundant force. Then in the determinate structure subjected to these known forces, the moment and shear force can be determined. After getting the value of the redundant force, then you can find out what is the moment and shear force in the beam, in the structure. This method This consistent deformation is suitable when the number of unknown are 1 or 2. Look at this figure. This is your propped cantilever. First we'll choose the reaction is the redundant force. If the reaction of the propped end is treated as a redundant force, the resulting basic determinant structure is a cantilever. If we will choose this as a redundant force, so the basic structure is a cantilever. Basic structure is a cantilever, because if you are choosing this is as a redundant force, so after removing this one, so this will be converted to the cantilever. This is determinant structure cantilever with redundant force. So you are taking this is as a redundant force and this is the cantilever. Similarly, if you are choosing the moment as a redundant force, the moment, because this is fixed end, so here there is your vertical direction, horizontal direction and the moment. So vertical and horizontal means this is hinge support. If you are converting this to hinge support and if you are imposing one moment here, so this moment you are taking as a redundant force. If we treat that fixed end moment as the redundant force, the resulting basic determinant structure is a simply supported beam. If we are choosing the moment as a redundant force, then the basic structure becomes the simply supported beam. After taking the moment as a redundant force, the structure becomes the simply supported beams. Determinant structure, one end hinged, this end is your hinged, this end is roller support with the redundant force moment. With you are taking the redundant force as a moment. Any of the above two basic determinant structure can be used for the analysis of the proper cantilever beam. You have to know, already you know in the strength of material, the slope and deflection of different beams. So let us take the cantilever beam. Cantilever beam. So cantilever beam of length L with concentrated load W at the free end. You know what is the vertical deflection at free end and you know what is the slope at free end. The vertical deflection at free end is equal to WLQ by 3EI. Already you know. Similarly, the slope at free end theta is equal to WL square by 2EI. Then cantilever beam of length L with the uniform distributed load W per unit run throughout the span. So for this type of beam, the vertical deflection at free end is equal to WL fourth by 8EI and slope at free end theta is equal to WLQ by 6EI. Then cantilever beam of length L with moment M at the free end. If the moment is acting M at the free end, so this case the vertical deflection at free end delta is equal to ML square by 2EI and slope at free end is equal to ML by EI. So you have to remember this vertical deflection and slope of cantilever beam with different loading condition. Similarly, the slope and deflection of simply supported beam, you know this one also, simply supported beam of length L subjected to central concentrated load W. If that W is present at the midpoint of the simply supported beam, then what is the vertical deflection at midspan? You know WLQ by 48 EI and the slope at support is equal to WL square by 16 EI. Similarly, simply supported beam of length L subjected to uniform distributed load W per unit run throughout the span. In this case, the vertical deflection at midspan is equal to 5 by 384 WL4 by EI and the slope at support is equal to theta is equal to WLQ by 24 EI. So you know this and you have already in strength of metal you have derived this the deflection and slope of various beams and with various loadings. So you have to remember this one. Then coming to one example, determine the reaction components for propped cantilever subjected to uniform distributed load as shown in figure. So this is your propped cantilever and this is the fixed end, this is the support. Here, this is propped cantilever with the uniform distributed load. This is uniform distributed load, W per unit run. By consistent deformation method, so you have to find out what is the reaction here. Then after getting this reaction, Then you have to find out what is the bending moment and shear force. That you can find out. What is the reaction here? You have to find out by using the consistent deformation method. So let's take vertical reaction at B, RB. So you take the vertical reaction at B is equal to RB. And this is you have to take as a redundant force. By removing the restraint to this redundant force, we get a cantilever at the basic determinant structure. After removing this one, the restraint to the redundant force, so we'll get the cantilever beam. This is a determinate structure. So first we can found downward deflection due to loading by removing the redundant force, then found upward deflection due to redundant force by removing the external load. So what you have to do, first you have to remove the redundant force, and due to this UTL, you have to find out what is the downward vertical deflection at B by removing the redundant force. Then you have to remove the uniform distributed load. The load, what is the load you are having on the beam, that you have to remove, and due to this redundant force, you have to find out what is the upward deflection. You have to find out what is the upward deflection. First you have to remove this one, and due to this load UTL, you have to find out what is the downward deflection here. Then you have to remove the UTL, and only have to take this redundant force, and due to this redundant force, you have to find out what is the upward deflection at B. But you know from the consistent deformation method, from the consistency criteria, so the net deflection at B is equal to 0, because you see due to downward load and due to this support, there is no deflection at the B. So this is the additional equation you have to take. That is the net deflection at B is equal to 0. Then that upward deflection is equal to, you have to take downward deflection. Then by taking this upward deflection is equal to downward deflection, then you can find out what is the reaction at the B. So after equating the upward and downward deflection, we will get the redundant force. So first to take due to given loading, first to take what is the loading in the beam, remove the redundant force. Remove the redundant force, only you take what is the load is given in the beam. And due to this load, find out what is the downward deflection. You know, in cantilever beam with UTL throughout the length. So what is the deflection at the free end? You know, delta. Due to given loading, the downward deflection at B, delta P is equal to WL fourth by 80. You know, already I have explained. So for cantilever with different loading, if UTL is present, so at the free end, so this is the deflection, WL fourth by 80. Then in next case, you have to find out what is the deflection due to redundant force. You remove this loading. You remove the loading, only you take the redundant force, RB. You take the redundant force RB, and due to this redundant force RB, and find out what is the vertical deflection. You know, so if the cantilever beam with if the point load are the free end, if the point load are the free end W, then what is the deflection? Already I have explained here. Consider the free end. So WLQ by 3EI. Vertical deflection at free end is equal to WLQ by 3EI. So here you have to take this as a point load W, and what is the deflection here? RB into LQ by 3EI. So the upward deflection of the cantilever due to RB is equal to RB into LQ by 3EI. But for the consistency requirement, you know the deflection at B is equal to 0. So if the deflection at B is equal to 0, then you have to take upward deflection at B is equal to downward deflection at B. You know already this is downward deflection due to loading. This is downward deflection due to loading, and this is upward deflection. This is upward deflection due to redundant force. Then you have to take upward deflection and downward deflection. Then after simplifying this one, we will find out RB is equal to 3 by 8 into W into L. Then after getting RB, so you got here the unknown reaction, the prompt reaction here, the redundant force RB. So RB you got 3 by 8 into WL. So after knowing the RB, then you can find out what is the reaction here, RA. You will find out the reaction at A, RB minus the downward force W into L. So WL minus 3 by 8 WL. Downward force minus the reaction, because total upward reaction is equal to the total downward force. The downward load is equal to WL and total upward reaction RA plus RB. So RB is equal to 3 by 8 WL. So RA is equal to WL minus 3 by 8 into WL. So this is equal to 5 by 8 into WL. So this is the reaction at A. So after knowing reaction at A, here reaction 5 by 8 WL, and here the reaction is your 3 by 8 WL. Then you can also find out what is the moment here, bending moment. The bending moment RB into L minus due to this loading, what is the moment? W into L, the total load, and the centroidal distance L by 2. RB into L minus WL into L by 2. RB into L minus WL into L by 2. So RB is equal to 3 by 8 WL, WL, and this is L, 3 by 8 WL square minus this is WL square by WL into L by 2, WL square by 2. So this is equal to minus WL square by 8. So the moment at A is equal to minus WL square by 8. Now you got here what is the reaction and what is the moment after knowing the redundant force. After knowing the reaction at the prop end, so you can easily find out what is the reaction and what is the moment at the other end using the consistent deformation method. Then coming to another example. So this is determine the reaction component in the propped cantilever shown in figure. EI is constant throughout. This is also propped cantilever having one prop at the free end. This is fixed and having one point load at a distance 2 meters from the support. This is 2 meters and from this to this is 3 meters. Propped cantilever is the point load at a distance 2 meters from the support. 30 kilonewton load is your having. Here also you take, this is the redundant force. Let's take the vertical reaction at B of the redundant force. Then by removing the restraint to this redundant force, we get the cantilever as a basic determinant structure. After removing this one, the redundant force, so you will get the cantilever, the basic determinant. Cantilever is a basic determinant structure. Propped cantilever is your indeterminate structure, but after removing the redundant force, so you will get the basic determinant structure, that is the cantilever. Then you have to find out what is the downward deflection at B and what is the upward deflection at B. And the net deflection at B is equal to 0. You have to find out the downward deflection at B due to the loading. And you have to find out the upward deflection at B due to the redundant force. Then you have to take the net deflection is your 0. That is equal to upward deflection is equal to downward deflection. Then you can find out what is the reaction of the propped end. That is for the redundant force you can find out. Similarly, here you take due to loading, what is the deflection here at the free end due to this loading. Just to remove the redundant force and due to this 30 kilonewton load, so find out what is the deflection here. What is the deflection here? So you know that is in strength of material. If in the cantilever beam, if the point load is present at any point in the span, so what is the deflection of the free end? You know, because what is the deflection here, then what is the slope here? So here you can find out this deflection is equal to this deflection plus this slope, and the distance between these two. Distance between these two. That is B. So here first you find out what is the deflection here due to this load, 30 kilonewton. What is the deflection here? Delta 1 in a cantilever deflection and rotation under the load P acting at a distance A. This is A distance and this is B distance. A is your 2 meter, B is your 3 meter. So at a distance C from the fixed end. So what is the deflection here? Delta 1. You know, if you are taking this is a point load, so what is PAQ by 3I? PAQ by 3I. PAQ by 3I. This is the deflection. P you are given 30 kilonewton and A you are given 2 meter. So 30 into 2Q by 3I. 80 by EI. Similarly, find out what is the rotation here. Angle between the tangent and the original axis. What is the rotation here? Theta 1. So theta 1 is equal to Pi square by 2EI. The rotation here is equal to Pi square by 2EI. So after knowing delta 1 and theta 1, then you can find out what is the deflection or the free end. So the deflection or the free end is equal to delta 1 plus this one B theta 1, because this distance is your B and this angle is your theta 1. So B theta 1 is equal to this one. B theta 1 is equal to this one. So the deflection at B is equal to delta 1 plus B theta 1. Delta 1 plus B theta 1. So delta 1 is equal to 80 by EI and B you are given 3 meter. B you are 3 meter. 3 into theta 1 is your, already you know, this is 60 by EI. 60 by EI into 3. So this is your equal to the deflection at B is your equal to 260 by EI downward. So this is due to loading. What is the deflection or the free end? Similarly, in next case, you just remove the loading and due to redundant force, remove this one and due to redundant force, find out what is the deflection, upward deflection at B, upward deflection of the cantilever due to RB. So this upward deflection is equal to RB into LQ by 3I. You know WLQ by 3I. Concentrated load present are the free end. So what is the deflection due to concentrated load? WLQ by 3I. So here you have to take RB as a concentrated load. So you have to find out what is the upward deflection or the free end, RB into LQ by 3I. So RB is your unknown. You have to find out this unknown reaction. RB into 5Q by 3EI. So this is the upward deflection due to the redundant force or the free end. Then from the consistency requirement, you know the deflection at B is equal to 0. Therefore, the upward deflection at B is equal to downward deflection at B. So this is upward deflection and this one is your downward deflection. 260 by EI is your downward deflection. This is downward deflection and this is upward deflection. 260 by EI is equal to RB into 5Q by 3EI. Then after simplifying this one, you will get RB is equal to 6.24 kilonewton. Then after knowing RB, 6.24, after knowing this one, 6.24 kilonewton, then you can find out what is the RA. RA plus RB is equal to downward force. RA plus RB is equal to 30. So RA is equal to 30 minus RB. RA is equal to 30 minus RB, 23.73 kilonewton. Then find out what is the moment. What is the moment here, MA? So you know already this reaction. So this reaction into this distance minus 30 into 2 is the moment here. RB into 5 minus 30 into 2 is the moment at A. So the moment at A is equal to RB into 5 minus 30 into 2. So this is equal to 6.24 into 5 minus 60 minus 28.8 kilonewton meter. 28.8 kilonewton meter. This is not 20, this is 28.8 kilonewton meter. Then another example you see here. Determine the reaction components in the beam shown in figure. A is constant throughout. This is one beam, propped cantilever, This is propped cantilever, and this portion is your overhanging. This is propped cantilever with this is overhanging portion, and this side is your fixed. And having one concentrated load 60 kilonewton at a distance 2 meter from the support A. Means just midpoint of AB, there is having one concentrated load, and at the free end, that is at a distance 2 meter from the prop, there is having another load 30 kilonewton, that is at C. So you have to find out using the consistent deformation method, you have to find out what is the reaction at B, because this is the unknown value. So after knowing this unknown, you can find out what is the moment and what is the reaction at the end A. What you have to do here, you have to take this as a redundant force. The reaction at B, you have to take as a redundant force, and after removing this one, you will get the determinate structure. After removing this redundant force, what you will get? This is the determinate structure. A, this is 60 kilonewton load, and this is 30 kilonewton load. This is your determinate structure. To obtain the downward deflection at B, so you have to find out what is the downward deflection at B due to this loading, and you have to find out what is the upward deflection due to the redundant force at B. Then after what you know, for the consistency requirement, the net deflection at B is equal to 0. So you have to take what is the downward deflection due to these two load at B, and what is the upward deflection due to this redundant force RB. Then after equating these two deflection, you will find out what is the reaction at B. These two, here you see, here there is a one load, and here there is another load, and you have to find out what is the deflection at B. If there is a present this type of loading, using the conjugate beam method, you can find out what is the deflection here. Using the conjugate beam method, you can find out what is the deflection at B. Because this is your cantilever beam. After removing this redundant force, so this becomes the cantilever with one load is 60 kilonewton at 2 meter, and another load 30 kilonewton at 6 meter. Then by taking these two loads, you have to find out what is the deflection at B. To obtain the downward deflection at B in the cantilever AC, you can use the conjugate beam method. So using conjugate beam method, you can find out what is the downward deflection at B. By conjugate beam method means how you will find out the deflection. Because this is your real beam. You have to take this is your real beam. This is your real beam, cantilever beam, determinate beam subjected to loads. This is your cantilever beam. And you have to find out what is the deflection here. So what you have to do? So by consistent deformation method, first you take individually, first you take this load, then you draw the bending moment diagram. So 30, first you take 30 kilonewton load, then this length is your 6 meter, 30 into 6. So what is the moment here? 180. And what is the moment here? 30 into 2, 60. So first you draw the bending moment diagram by considering 30 kilonewton load in the cantilever beam. Then take individually 60 kilonewton load. Then by taking this 60 kilonewton load, then again you draw the bending moment diagram separately. So 60 into 2, 120 kilonewton meter. So these two bending moment diagram is due to the 30 kilonewton load and 60 kilonewton load you have taken separately. This is bending moment due to 30 kilonewton load, and this is bending moment due to 60 kilonewton load. Then what you have to do? Then you know that in conjugate beam method, after plotting the bending moment diagram, then you have to plot the M by EI diagram. M by EI diagram. Then the M by EI diagram is your loading for the conjugate beam. Then you take here, and if this and in conjugate beam 3 and 2 fixed end, 3 and is your fixed, and then you draw this is your bending moment diagram, 60, 180. So 60 by EI, and this is 180 by EI. This is your 180 by EI. This is 180 by EI, this is 60 by EI. M by EI diagram. This is the conjugate beam subject to moment due to 30 kilonewton load. This is your conjugate beam subjected to moment due to 30 kilonewton load. Similarly, draw due to 60 kilonewton load. What is the conjugate beam? So here this is your fixed and this end is your free, and here you know this is the bending moment diagram. Then you draw the M by EI diagram is your loading for the conjugate beam. So M here 120 bending moment, in M by EI diagram 120 by EI. So this is your loading for the conjugate beam. This is your conjugate beam. This is real beam, real cantilever beam, but here this is your conjugate beam. So in real beam this end is fixed, and in conjugate beam this end is your free, and this end is your free in real beam. This is your fixed in the conjugate beam. Similarly here fixed and this is free. And the M by EI diagram is your loading for the conjugate beam. Then how will find out the deflection at B? Your objective is you have to find out what is the deflection at B. So in conjugate beam method, how you will find out the deflection at B? So you have to find out what is the bending moment at B. So in conjugate beam method, you have to find out what is the bending moment at B. At B, then that bending moment of the conjugate beam is very equal to the deflection of the real beam. Deflection of the real beam. So you have to find out what is the downward deflection at B of the given real beam is very equal to the bending moment at B in the conjugate beam is very equal to delta B. So you have to find out what is the bending moment here. These are the loading. This is rectangle. This is 60 by EI. This and this is 120 by EI. The total is 180 by EI. So you have to find out what is the area of this one, because you have to find out what is the bending moment here. So what is the area here? This one 60 by EI. This one, and the length is your 4 meter. 60 by EI into 4, and what is the CG distance? Rectangle means the CG is your 2 meter. The total length is 4 meters, so the centroidal length from the B is your 2 meter. So this is a 60 by EI into 4 into 2. Already you have taken this one. Then take the moment of this load. Take moment of this load. What is the area of this loading? Half into base 4 into height 120 by EI. Half into 4 into 120 by EI. Half into 4 into 120 by EI. Then what is the CG of this from the point B? What is the CG of this triangle from the point B? Because this is triangle, so from this side you have to take this length is your 4, 2 into 4 by 3. The CG is your 2 into 4 by 3. This is your equal to 8 by 3. Plus you have to take this one. So this is the M by I diagram due to the moment due to 60 kilonewton loading. So you have to take what is the moment here. So first you have to take what is the area of this one. Half into base into height. Half into this distance is your 2 meter. Half into 2 into 120 by EI. Half into 2 into 120 by EI. Then you have to take what is the centroidal distance. So from this to this length is your 2 into 2 by 3. So from this to this is your 4 by 3. And from this to this is your 2 meter. From this to this 2 meter. 4 by 3 plus 2. 4 by 3 plus 2. So this is the after simplifying this one. So the downward deflection at B is equal to 1520 by EI. This is the downward deflection. You got this downward deflection using the conjugate beam method. So the downward deflection at B of the real beam is equal to the bending moment at B in the conjugate beam. So what is the bending moment at the B in the conjugate beam? That will give the what is the deflection at B in the real beam. So deflection at B in the real beam. So using this method, you have to find out what is the bending moment here, and that will give the deflection of the real beam. So this is the deflection due to the loading at point B. Then in next case, what you have to do? So you have to remove the loading. You remove the loading, and due to this redundant force, find out what is the vertical deflection at B. Find out what is the vertical deflection at B. remove the loading, and due to this redundant force, find out what is the vertical deflection. Vertical upward deflection due to redundant force. Then if this is your upward force, and what is the deflection? RB into 4Q by 3I. That is WLQ by 3I. If the load is present at the free end, so due to that load, what is the deflection at the free end? WLQ by 3I. So here you are taking RB as a load, and due to this RB, you have to find out what is the deflection, vertical deflection at the free end. So this is your RB, and this length is your equal to 4 meter. Given here, this is your 4 meter. RB into 4Q by 3I. So what is the deflection here? RB into 4Q by 3I. So this is your upward deflection in cantilever AC due to RB. Then you find out what is for consistency requirement. So you know that deflection at B is equal to 0. Then equating 1 and 2. This is equation 1, downward deflection due to loading. And this is equation 2. This is upward deflection due to the redundant force. Then the upward deflection, downward deflection. So this is upward deflection, and this is downward deflection. So after simplifying these two, this equation, so you get the RP is equal to 71.25 kilonewton. Then after knowing RP, then you can find out what is the vertical direction at A and what is the moment at A. After knowing this RP, then you can find out what is the vertical direction at A and what is the moment at A. So the vertical direction at A plus RP is equal to 60 plus 30. Then the vertical direction at A is equal to 60 plus 30 minus RB. 60 plus 30 minus 60 plus 30 minus RB. This is equal to 18.75 kilonewton. Then find out what is the moment at here you see this is RB into 4 minus 60 into 2 minus 30 into 6 is equal to MA. RB into 4 minus 60 into 2 minus 30 into 6. RB into 4. RB into this one. This is the moment at A. You know that you have to take the how many forces are there, and you have to take the moment of all the forces. That gives the moment at A. Now you are clear that how to find out the reaction at the propped end using the consistent deformation method.